Now, I'm sure everybody is loving these stories. There's so much to tell. But here we are, guys. Welcome back to Viper versus DauT Best of 21, game number 9. It's going to be Arena, and we are going to see that Burmese pickup by the Viper here, which is something that we were speculating about. We said, you know, maybe Aztecs, maybe Turks, maybe the Burmese. We didn't mention the Britons, though, which is what DauT's gone for on the other side of the map. But what are your thoughts, KillerB, on this map, on these civs, and all that good stuff?
Well, first, let me just say that DauT in the blue, playing as Britons, will have back gold, back stone, which is going to be really nice for him to work with. His other resources, though, extra piles, are outside the walls, which is a bit awkward. Relics seem to be somewhat fairly distributed, maybe a couple closer to Viper on his side. Viper is working with front stone, front gold, which is a little awkward, but he does have a couple resource piles in the back. So I think both players have a pretty decent map if they want to go with any strat that they can think of. I think it'd be fine. What strat they will go with, I'm not quite sure. As you talked about, the Viper will start off, if you look at the Fog of War, seeing all those relics, so he should be able to grab relics early, which is very important on Arena. Viper's actually forward right now, and he stands to find a couple sheep. If he gets a little bit lucky here, I think his scout will find a couple of DauT sheep, and he probably can steal some resources early on in this match.
Yeah, and obviously this is a money match. This is for $2,000, so he'll certainly be keeping those sheep if he finds them. But that isn't a big if. He is going to find them, actually. And there you go. He's bringing them home, because why wouldn't he, right? If this was a friendly, they'd be going through DauT's gate, and they'd be on the way to DauT. But right now, he's going to grab them. And this is DauT's fault, to be honest, because DauT is pushing in deer right now. And when you play Arena, you always scout the front of your base first before you scout the back, because your sheep do spawn on the front, or your boar spawns on the front, and you need to get it in quickly before your opponent steals it. So Viper got to steal away 2 sheep, giving him that, I don't want to say an early edge. It's a small advantage. It's really nothing that's going to change things around too much here, but it's just a little thing. But yeah, go ahead.
I like it a lot because whenever you can steal sheep from a Britons player, it just makes you happy. It's a little more icing on the cake. But yeah, a nice little early bit of aggression from the Viper. He basically used that relic advantage to scout forward and steal some resources instead of having to scout around to find relics. Also, Viper's boars are inside of his walls by the looks of it, so he was able to take those easily. So early game, looks like the Viper will have a slight edge. As you said, though, DauT is pushing in some deer. He'll be fine to get up. Just 3 villagers out on wood for DauT, which is a bit strange at this point. I would have expected 4 for a fast castle build. But we'll keep an eye on DauT and keep moving through this one.
Yeah, now DauT obviously will push his deer in, and looking at Viper's deer, they are quite far away, and his scout's over there now, so he might be thinking about deleting a wall piece here to push the deer through. It looks like that's going to be the case, and he's got a much more challenging task ahead of him. He's actually going to push the deer in towards the gate and use the sheep to hold it open instead of deleting the wall piece, which is a little bit tougher because the deer sometimes doesn't want to go through, but he'll get there in the end, and he can then, of course, close the gate behind the deer, so if it does run back, it doesn't run all the way back to its starting position, so that's pretty smart. And at the moment, Viper's got the 4 villagers on the wood. DauT has the 3, which is maybe a little oversight, but he is going to send the 4th out now. Now, some people in my chat, they would say, Britons? On Arena? What? Britons are actually a pretty solid civ on this map, because the extra range on your crossbows coming into play as soon as you reach the castle age, you can start making archers in the feudal age, and you can take center map control very easily. You can deny relics from your opponent very effectively with the extra ranged crossbows. You can take down scouts and eagles very easily as well if they decide to try and contest the relics with those. And so a lot of the time, the Brit player can actually take the map control very easily, and they can actually claim a lot more of the relics than their opponents. Now, the Burmese, obviously a civ which is new in the Rise of the Rajas, a civ which we don't see too often since it is so new. We know all about the Britons. Let's talk about the Burmese. Well, the Burmese do get 50% off all of their technologies from the from the monastery, all their monk techs, which is nice. But as I say, if the Briton player can take the map control, then the Burmese aren't really going to benefit from having those cheaper monk techs, because those monks are going to be quite ineffective in the Castle Age. And finally, they do get the free wood upgrades, if I'm not mistaken. They get Bit Axe and Bow Saw and Two-Man Saw for free.
Indeed, yeah, nice eco boost, which you always want if you can choose it. Those cheaper monastery techs would be nice, but like you said, it might be hard to get too much done with monks against a Britain's player. We'll find out what the Viper can do here. Viper is going to send some vills over to Stone for the moment, or a villager, so we'll keep an eye on him. DauT is up on 25, indicative of a regular old-fashioned fast castle. Of course, no loom, since we're playing on arena after all. 3 villagers out on gold for DauT. Viper's going up a bit later. He's going to establish a stone economy, and we'll probably see the Viper be able to drop a castle right when he gets up to the Castle Age.
Yeah, this is an interesting dynamic now, because obviously Viper's going to send the villagers over to Stone. It's going to delay his Castle Age, but it means when he does get to the Castle Age, he should be able to immediately drop down a castle and make the Burmese unique unit, which is the Arambai. Now, I'm interested to see how this plays out. If DauT does actually go for the crossbows that we might expect him to see, or might expect to see, then I'm interested to see how the Arambai perform in that situation. The Arambai, they hit hard, but they don't do the most... they're not the most accurate, I should say. So, could be interesting to see this one. I do like the Arambai as a unit. I think it's one of the better Castle Age units out there. From the, well, better Castle Age unique units. Although they're low accuracy, they don't need many upgrades to be effective. And if you compare them to the Conquistador, they're kind of similar in style. They hit hard, they're a little bit inaccurate, and they don't need any upgrades to be effective.
Yeah, Feudal Age comes in for DauT. He's going to go Market Blacksmith here. No surprises whatsoever. Those are a little bit further back than we sometimes see. Sometimes players use those as a secondary bit of walling in case they get pushed, but DauT is going to be fine to drop them where they are. Actually kind of obscures where I thought he might put a TC, but I guess he's not thinking about that area for a town center. Viper will hit Feudal, and he will drop his Market Blacksmith in the back as well. So both guys going quickly up to Castle Age. 300 stone in the bank for Viper. Just 2 villagers on gold. I don't actually know if that's going to be enough. Doesn't seem like it's going to be enough for him to go drop a castle immediately, but we will see the Viper with a relatively early game castle, I think, nonetheless. DauT, still with 4 villagers out on gold, does not look like he's going to go deep into monks, which is not terribly surprising, but always good to keep an eye on the gold mines here in the Castle Age transition.
It really looks to me like both players are going to add second and third TCs very quickly in the Castle Age here. Viper's obviously going to make some monks. He's sending a lot of villagers out to gold, but he's not going to go for that fast castle drop, which we might have expected. We're not going to see a castle from DauT either. We might see a monastery and some monks, but I would really expect to see DauT going for some ranges if he wanted to contest the relics here. I'm certainly expecting to see DauT go for the second and third town center very quickly. Obviously, the Britons do get those town centers a little cheaper, which kind of goes in a way, in a sense, to offset those free lumber camp upgrades that the Burmese get. But either way, DauT now buying some food even, and it looks like he's just going to go for a pretty solid boom.
Yeah, DauT's got a pretty good map to boom on. Like we talked about early in the game, he's got his main stone on the back, main gold on the back, has an extra gold pile in the back corner, which he has scouted, which is important to always know. Looks like DauT will go ahead and TC his stone pile for now. Second town center coming up on the wood line there a little bit to the east of his TC. So 3 town centers immediately for DauT, going to look to boom his economy out. Viper adding a gate in the front of his base. Does look like he's going to add in some monasteries, and probably should have a little bit slower of an economy buildup. I would think that we're going to see at least 1 monastery here, possibly, 2 villagers coming out for the Viper. So we'll keep an eye on him as he goes double monastery when he hits Castle Age.
I just want to point something out. DauT actually bought 100 food, and he bought the food so that he could afford to get the lumber camp and the mill upgrade, heavy plow and bow saw immediately when he got to the Castle Age. So he's already got bow saw, he's already got heavy plow, and now he's dropping down 2 TCs and immediately farming. He's on the stone. I don't know if that's a mistake, and he'll move those vills. No, it's not. It looks like he's going to grab stone for a 4th town center here, as he can now scout the middle of the map and see that, as you say, Viper is making the monasteries and going for the monks.
Yeah, Viper coming forward with the Siege Workshop now. DauT is still running his scout around, even though it's on relatively low HP, getting some really crucial information. Getting on stone for DauT could also be a prophylactic move if he's worried about Viper really pushing hard on the front. A castle drop to defend your eco is always a really good strategy.
Yes.
If your opponent is pushing in with monks and siege, and it looks like DauT is actually doubling down. 6-7 villagers now out on stone. So he's going to be thinking about a defensive castle, I suppose.
That's not a 4th TC yet. That is definitely a defensive castle. He's expecting that Viper will go aggressive, and he's right, because Viper does have the Siege Workshop coming up at the front. He's got the 2 monasteries behind, and we saw that, Viper sent a lot of vills out to the gold there. Viper will follow up with a castle drop, as we expected earlier on, and so we're going to see DauT going for a much more heavy boom style. We're going to see Viper going for a much more aggressive style. If DauT can put his castle in a good place, he could just stop this aggression straight away. He does forfeit map control. He will forfeit 5 relics, but to be honest with you, he's just looking to get a quick, fast, dirty boom and get to the Imperial Age where he can then push all of this stuff back.
Yeah, it's interesting. Viper went halfway up to creating a mangonel first, canceled it, and then built a ram, and that ram is now knocking on the front door of DauT's walls. Viper was on 1 TC last I checked. Seems to be a 1 town center build for him. Did grab Sanctity. Gonna get those monks a little bit stronger, a little bit scarier. Second unit out of the Siege Workshop will be a mangonel. Monk production continues from both of those monasteries. So the Viper here with the old monk and siege push, nothing too crazy. Does look like he added in an extra scout. Oh no, that's probably a convert at this point in the game.
Yeah, look at those speedy monks as well. Viper doing further there. Those monks can run, man. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, DauT basically needs to get that castle up ASAP. He's using his market here to sell wood, sell food, buy stone. He absolutely needs the castle, and there it comes. He's walled off the right side. He's building the castle in the choke point between the tree line and his TC, and he's going to try and stop this push right here. The castle has to go up, though, before it's too late. I think he's going to be okay. It's close. He's going to be all right.
Man,
he's going to be okay.
70% done. Viper will castle drop that same area. And this is where things are going to get uncomfortable if you're DauT. I mean, yes, you can defend yourself with this castle. I think it will go up. There it goes. But the Viper's castle will go up as well, since DauT can't deny it. And one would think the Viper, who's on 600 food, 600 gold, still 1 TC, it looks like Viper is going to go into a relatively quick imp time. And then DauT's going to have to deal with Trebs behind this at some point in the future.
Yeah, and DauT's hoping that he can get a good imp time as well, but he's going to have to change tact a little bit here. His castle's starting to hit some longbows. Unfortunately, his castle is not in range of this mangonel, so that mangonel is going to start bringing down the TC here, and DauT will probably want to consider getting himself bodkin arrow very soon. But yeah, that castle from Viper's going to deny a few farms. Fortunately for DauT, he does still have backstone. He does still have the back golds. So he's got resources here, but you're right on the money. Viper's on the way up to the Imperial Age now, and there's going to be a trebuchet coming out from that castle very soon. And as I always say, once the trebs are popping, the castles are dropping, and we're going to see that happen here, I think, as DauT won't be able to really contest that trebuchet for a while. Although with that said, he is not far from the Imperial Age himself.
Yeah, so Viper will click up 22 minutes and 40. That's a pretty nice, quick imp time, I would say. Nice castle drop. Does have some monks on the front and a little bit of siege, but Viper by no means is really pushing hard here. He's just kind of camping with his monks, waiting for his imp time to come in. As you said, DauT's not that far behind. He's going to be 1 minute later than Viper. DauT is going to be a little bit stretched thin. He doesn't have a lot of map control, but he does have gold. He does have stone. He has nice, safe wood lines. And the longbowmen are starting to come out for DauT. And as he goes to imp, we'll see DauT get all of the upgrades that he can for those units. And maybe the range of those longbows will be enough to help him push back out from this.
DauT's building another castle now, and he really needs to get university up. He needs ballistics. He needs to get bodkin arrow as well. And the idea of these longbows is that actually they're going to be quite good against the monks because they are going to have great range. But he is really towing a thin line here. It's a risky game for DauT, giving up all the map control like this. But if he can hold out, if he can just stall out and keep Viper Hello? Is that an ice cream truck?
I think the ice cream man is sitting outside my door right now. So I'll put on mute for a
No,
moment and
no,
leave it
it's
to you.
fine. It sounds great. I just want an ice cream now. I've got some Ben and Jerry's in the freezer. I might go and have to get some out. But yeah, I didn't realize that your ice cream truck sounded so futuristic in Sweden.
Everything is futuristic in Sweden, and the Viper is up to Imperial Age. Trebuchet coming out, does have about 10 monks kind of waiting for the fight to begin. We do have a couple, or rather another Mangonel in play. DauT with that 30, is that right? 33 villager advantage. Will hit Imp in a moment. His 2 castles will probably beat the Viper's 1. So DauT here certainly has some life left in him.
Yeah.
But yeah, he needs some more map control. Of course, you can only get so many villagers on a single gold pile, and DauT is kind of struggling with that a bit.
I want to say DauT's probably going to come out on top. Like you say, 2 castles versus 1. Viper's got a lot of resources invested into these monks, and against longbows, with Bracer in the Imperial Age, I think the longbows will take that fight quite easily there. So we'll see. DauT has still got so much available to him in the back. He's almost got enough for another castle even, and he's still mining away. He's still farming. He's still got a lot of wood, so he's doing a good job right now. I mean, obviously Viper has the 5 relics, which is helping a little bit, but he is still a lot of villagers behind. And I like that DauT is focusing on the castle here. This is a really nice move. He's like ignoring the trebs, he's going for the castle, because Viper didn't have any villagers forward to repair it. And so if he can take that castle down, then he can roll out with his longbows, and he can start doing some big damage there. And that castle looks like it's going to fall, as the prophecy says. Once the trebs are popping, the castles are dropping, and down it goes.
Yeah, DauT about to finish up Ballistics. Viper going with Theocracy, which is an upgrade that I don't see very often. Let me quickly thumb through my AOC dictionary.
But yeah, 10 range on these longbows. They're going to outrange the mangonels. They don't outrange the monks, but I mean, I don't think DauT will realistically get too many conversions here. And those mangonels can't even get close. They're just going down. Look at that. Beautiful play. DauT going to back it up a little bit here. Doesn't want to lose too many units to conversion, but Viper's losing so many monks here. Just to the castles. His traps are going down, and as I said, DauT's got this.
Yeah, DauT will certainly push out of this. Looks like he's going to do so easily. Viper's still sending in more monks. I don't know what's on his mind. Looks like he will retreat back to another siege workshop. For now, the Viper's forward is pushed back. We will see if the Viper adds in more town centers, but at least so far, it's been a 1 TC build. It's 44 villagers for the Viper. Not a whole lot to fall back on here.
DauT sending in the vills to tear down that trebuchet. And Viper's now going to lose map control very quickly here. He may lose his monasteries and his relics. And he's 40 villagers behind now. This is just not good. Writing's on the wall for Viper. As DauT successfully defends his base. It was a masterful defense from him. And now he can really take advantage of this Britain range. Viper's just still making monks. I don't really agree with that, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know if the Viper feels pot committed here. He will get some bombard cannons out and try to see if he can snipe these trebs, but his monks are getting sniped down by treb fire at the moment. Viper does have 5 relics, so he can spam some monks. It's not that bad for him, but man, he's really sending a lot of expensive units basically directly into longbowman fire. Does convert a couple longbows though. Viper's still moving in with his monks, trying to grab converts if he can. The bombard cannons are starting to come out, and we're actually seeing we're seeing DauT now go back and regroup.
Yeah, actually, the conversions weren't too bad. I'll give him that. They were pretty good, but I don't know. I mean, it's a longbowman. It's not like a knight. It's not a super expensive unit. And I still think that DauT's coming out on top in these traits. DauT looking for another castle. Look at his resources as well. He's got 1,000 food, 1,000 gold. We see the elite longbowman coming in. And DauT's also using his... Oh, he's going for Warwolf. Yes! That's good. That's good.
Oh man, never heard anybody that excited about Warwolf, but 100% accuracy on trebs with a little bit of blast damage.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Upgrade to be grabbing, especially with 3 trebs out for DauT and maybe some more on the way in the future. Elite longbowman for DauT. A plenty, I think the Viper here is in quite a lot of trouble. Just going to take a quick look at the siege line for the Viper. He's going to have obviously bombard cannons, which we've already seen. He can go to Onager, but not siege Onager. And he will have, yep, he will have siege engineers as well as at his disposal. At least for now, though, it's bombard cannons all the way for the Viper.
Yeah, and they're getting very low to the longbow here. Obviously, 6+5 range. Still waiting for Yeoman to come in so we can get the 6+6. But it's enough for now. DauT able to snipe these guys off, splitting his units around to reduce the damage that they take. And he's going for the third castle. I want to see Warwolf come into effect here. He's only got 3 trebs. And they're quite expensive, so he needs to get back some more map control to take more of this gold. But he's actually giving Viper some time. Viper's starting on 1 TC, but that villager count will eventually close up, because obviously DauT's not going to keep making villagers for eternity, and eventually Viper will catch up to him in villager count. But right now, DauT does have more military, he does have better KD, and he's going to just go to town with these trebs and continue to spam those longbows out. I'm enjoying this game a lot here.
Yeah, it's been a good one, and we're going to see Capped Ram coming from the Viper from the Siege Workshop that survives just barely long enough to get that research done. So the Viper can add in some Rams to tank a bit of that arrow fire. Viper is adding in skirmishers as we speak.
Oh, skirmishers.
The Burmese... Yeah, skirmishers.
Oh, no.
Burmese can go to elite skirm, so we might see that quite soon. Viper, for the moment, will not be able to make more bombard cannons because I don't think he has a siege workshop left on the map. But yeah, it's still 1 town center. Viper's pot committed to 1 TC.
Yeah, I think DauT needs to get Yeoman here, because that extra 1 range is quite a big deal. The monks have 12 range, the bombard cannons have 12 range, and so do the elite longbow when they have Yeoman, but they only have 11 range right now, and that's kind of making it a little more difficult for DauT to take the best fights. You always want to take the best fights possible. He's packing up his trebs here, and there's Yeoman coming in, so he's not neglecting it, but it's taking him a little while. And to be honest, he's just going to back up, deploy the trebs here defensively, I think, and then just hold out. And obviously his trebs will absolutely wreck bombard cannons now as well, because they'll do the blast damage, and the 100% accuracy we're assuming is going to help them out to deal with the bombard cannons.
Yeah, the Viper here surprisingly hasn't given up that much map control. I thought he would really be back defending his base at this point in the game, but Viper has been able to keep DauT back in his base. But of course, DauT is ahead. The scores don't lie. DauT's got 101 vills, and he has this beautiful big batch of longbows. And the Viper just needs some heroic bombard cannon shots right now, because he doesn't have onagers out or anything like that. He just needs a good couple of shots. It's really his only hope. He's not going to be able to hold this off with skirms that have 8 range versus a 12 range elite longbowman.
Yeah, skirmishers are not the ideal unit. I think that's why Viper was going towards Rams, because he does want to pack those skirms into the Rams to close the gap a little more. But yeah, DauT here going to push forward in the middle, cleaning off these skirmishers over there. But he does need to come over and deal with this, these units on the right side as well. The monks coming in, how many conversions can they get? None at the moment. DauT is just on his toes by the looks of things, splitting his group of his groups of longbows into 2, taking out these monks very quickly, and dealing with any converted longbows very quickly as well. Monks are not going to pay off in the long run for Viper anymore.
Yeah, Viper's not queuing any more monks. He is sitting on 2k gold, so he can certainly afford to make monks and bombard cannons all day if he wants to. But 2 food in the bank right now for the Viper, who's probably having trouble keeping villager production going.
Yeah, he is killing a lot of DauT's villagers on the left side, though. DauT hasn't seemed to notice Viper over there. Though Viper might trigger another alarm bell if he attacks now, because he stopped attacking for a while. But there you go, alarm bell triggered. Viper shouldn't have moved his skirms there, I think, because now he's given away his position. But still, he's going to get a lot of villagers. And DauT is starting to take the center map control. DauT is in a really winning situation, but he is not taking any risks. He's playing it very safe, let's say.
Yeah, DauT playing a really nice game here, and maybe game number 9 is the game that he's going to turn this series around. He needs a couple good wins under his belt. Needs to have a good day today, and he seems to be having a really good day. Cleaning up the Viper with some longbowmens back on his gold pile. DauT adding in 3 stables, 4 stables now, potentially more on the way soon. Those elite longbows on the front are doing plenty of work, but it looks like we'll see a little cavalry along with them. Viper's forward monasteries are dropping, so his relic gold is going to be done. Viper will pop out his elite skirms here and maybe one big last burst to see if he can hold that
He
front area.
absolutely doesn't have enough here. This is GG, I feel, for Viper right now. He's going to lose his monasteries, he's going to lose his relics, he's going to lose all of his skirms, and Viper will call it. That was the game-ending fight from DauT, and boy, what a game. He really played well there. He was, up against the wall. He had his back against the wall, but it was calculated. And I think that's the impressive thing from DauT there. He knew that he was going to be under a huge amount of pressure from Viper in the Castle Age, and it was so well calculated. He even sacrificed a town center, but in the end, he was able to get to that post-Imperial stage of the game. There's 12 range on the longbows, the Wild Wolf on the trebs, and he was able to retake the map control and take the game into his hands.
Yeah, absolutely. Really aggressive push from the Viper, but DauT absorbed it. The Viper just went with 1 Siege Workshop early on. He only had 1 Mangonel and 1 Ram, so we probably could have anticipated he was going quickly to Imp. Of course, we know that number of monks that he added just really didn't get anything done. The monks were kind of a big flop there for the Viper. Really nice decision from DauT to go elite longbow. And the GG is in. We will see DauT grab a win here. We'll go into game number 10. And I believe the score will be 6-3. Is that right?
It is indeed. And that was just such a nice game from DauT. Very enjoyable. And the Britons actually make a great arena civ. And since he chose the Britons there, he does still have the Aztecs available for Arabia if he wants to take that. And we're going to see Arabia as game 10 as well.
Yeah, I mean, just back to